Okay, today's morning talk is about unprocessed darkness in people. What is it? Unprocessed food is raw food. Well, it could be good food, unprocessed food, raw food diets, carrots. I'm being under electronic harassment. And in addition to Christopher John Scott Dougal, who works as at least the vice president level of Google Technologies, don't forget about Google Labs that does all kinds of experiments into every other possible thing that they can get their fingers into. And we're going to go with electronic torture devices that can be operated by any old alcoholic from Dead Man's Curve at the Crest Hotel at Friday's Lounge, which was Scott Dougal's father's bar, and there were longtime alcoholics there. Another suspect in the electronic torture of me, Bobby Burrows, is Daniel Szabó, whose mom lives in Burnaby, British Columbia, and Daniel lives in Australia. Apparently, I can't say for sure. That's his cover story. I don't know. He travels around a lot and doesn't seem to work at all, even though he says that he's employed by the United Nations. Daniel said that he went to Humboldt University in Berlin for international relations. Is that a cover story or what? Why do we say that? Because Daniel Szabó is um, a very dangerous person. Everyone knows that people who torture animals often graduate to torturing humans. And Daniel was known to have little white kittens that he neglected and they died. And then his then boyfriend was one of his boyfriends is Ronnie Eckert in Vancouver. And Ronnie told me about Daniel neglecting the kittens and the kittens dying, and Ronnie was just shocked and appalled. But once you've seen that behavior from somebody, then you do expect that person to do more hurtful things to other people. So, whatever the story is, backstory of Daniel Szabó, known in the gay community in Vancouver, yes. If you go to the gay porn website Falcon, Daniel is a gay porn star, and he uses the stage name Daniel Sinclair. Sinclair is one of the Illuminati bloodlines on the planet, which opens up a whole other can of worms as to exactly who is that I know is related to this. So Christopher John Scott Dougal of wherever he is now, California, won the Duke of Edinburgh Award. Duke of Edinburgh is the reported dead husband of Queen Elizabeth. And this Duke of Edinburgh Award is supposed to be a prestigious award, but I think it's given out to special people who are perhaps working not necessarily at their official job, but their unofficial job. Jonas Moline is another person I know, Jonas Moline of Vancouver, who's a manager for a hotel chain called Choice Quality Inn. As far as I remember, Jonas also was awarded a Duke of Edinburgh award. Anybody who has a Duke of Edinburgh award, I would be highly cautious of because they work for, well, whatever Queen Elizabeth is on. I'm under electronic harassment again. Just so you know, the electronic terrorists that afflict me gave me some of that information. Because there's people that talked when I'm being electronically harassed. There's also voice to skull, and the operators, the same operators that use cover personalities and electronic voice box distortions, have been giving me some of this information. Is it true? Well, I don't know, but they want it out there in public because they torture me horribly every day, and that's what's come out. So are they all? Well, yeah, I'm going to say they are. Organized darkness, we call them. So those are some people that we suspect of being organized darkness. Christopher John Scott Dougal, Vice President of Google. Daniel Szabó, Brisbane, Australia, and Vancouver, British Columbia, working for the United Nations. And Jonas Moline, Duke of Edinburgh Award, working for Choice Hotels. Why am I telling you all this? Because it's just coming through. People who I think are dirty, somehow. Upstanding citizens, well, Jonas seems to be an upstanding citizen, but behind the scenes, I don't trust anybody. The X-Files, and more and more over the years. It's electronic harassment while I'm telling a story by people like this. Organized darkness. Well, what are they? Well, they're linked to the big money on the planet, the 1%. And they're the minions of the 1% because they're 1%ers that have the money and the access to resources to do international terrorism. How many other people are secretly employed by, well, we just have to go back to East Germany. East Germany is a communist state. We are told 1/3 of the population of East Germany were spying on the other 2/3 of all the East Germans. Other factoids? Dr. David R. Hawkins of Consciousness Research told us in around the year 2000 that when he did muscle testing, he found that 78% of humans calibrated under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. Those are people who are heartless, vicious, violent people, driven by emotions, fight or flight, no heart, heartless people. No love, no compassion. Brutality is what they go by. What does that mean for planet Earth? Well, the big cleanup is on because the rest of us who are here doing our personal work, which is self-help and psychology. I don't know. It's not my words. These are their words of the demonic people that are doing. They love to be called demonic because they just do. They like to be not human. They like to be superhuman, and they think that being demonic is a congratulations. You know, you've managed to close your heart and become Hannibal Lecter. Can everybody be smeared by the, Duke of Edinburgh Awards? Yeah, it's directly from Buckingham Palace. These people are hand-selected to be in their community leaders where they can spy for the British monarchy, the 1%, the Illuminati, so that they can retain their privileges as being, higher up on the pecking order in the civilization of planet Earth. In Star Trek, the original series, there is an episode called The Cloud Minders, which illustrates the way that the elite people think, that they deserve all the luxury, and everybody else needs to work for them, with no luxury, Spartan conditions, low pay, and horrible lives. Horrible lives. Okay, what else can I tell you? Well, we listened to Prime Disclosure on YouTube, and it's a news digest of spiritual news and what's going on with Earth Ascension. Earth Ascension is a great leap in consciousness here on planet Earth. You could map it on the scale of human consciousness that you can find on the internet. David R. Hawkins uses this scale of human consciousness to educate us. other things that we want to talk? Well, it's just that we heard in the news, Paul Butler, that he calls it I don't know, like a compression breakthrough. I don't exactly know what it all means, but it is something to do with the fifth dimensional Earth. Everyone knows the song "The Age of Aquarius" by the band The Fifth Dimension that came out in about 1969 and talked about the times that we're living through now. The great change, great elevation in consciousness, more love, more harmony, more synchronicity, more serendipity, more fun, getting rid of everything that makes us sick and makes us want to puke. What's electronic harassment? The people who do electronic harassment of me are still John Does to me, John and Jane Does. Quite a few of them. We think, well, it's definitely high tech, so somebody who's got lots of technology. Joe Smoline doesn't do technology. Daniel Zabot doesn't do technology. Christopher John Scott Dougal is the vice president of Google, and we know that in Google Labs they get their fingers into everything, and under the cover of secrecy, what kind of work does Google do for the U.S. military? Let's cross that out. Let's just call them, the 1%. Probably quite a bit. Everybody knows how big Google is. Anyway, so if you were going to be investigating who are the kingpins of terrorism, fill in the blank.